God, we have been walking for days now.
You said it, bro. Are we even going in the right direction?
That's it, we are calling it a night. My neck is hurting from carrying this weight. Dumb octopus, not knowing where the hell we going. We'll be dead by morning at this rate.
Yo, this guy is pissing me off. We should dump him. He is holding us back.
Hi guys, and welcome back to another review where we are going to be looking at the sophomore release from the Toronto-based band Brand of Sacrifice called LIfeblood. So if you didn't know, Brand of Sacrifice has been this up-and-coming band that have been sort of demolishing the competition and providing us with some of the most innovative and modern deathcore to date, incorporating fantasy elements from the manga Berserk, overall just having a really fresh take on the deathcore genre. Fun fact about this band is before they were actually named Brand of Sacrifice, they were known as The After Image, which was this pretty cool gent/metalcore project, but just like Griffith in the Berserk manga, they sacrificed their old band and rebranded. Get it? Rebranded, but Brand of Sacrifice. And now they are a brutal slamming deathcore project that has been just taking the genre by storm and reshaping the deathcore scene in general. So without wasting any more time, give this video a like so the algorithm will notice me, senpai. And yeah, let's jump right into it. So what to say about this album? Well, this is a very refreshing take on the whole deathcore genre as a whole. And this has pretty much been done by the introduction of synthesis, orchestration, choirs, oriental style instrumentation as well, which gives this lush soundscape that the riffs and the drums and the vocals can sit on top of. Moments like on the intro of Animals, where it definitely goes down the more oriental path, and utilizing a lot of choir vocal runs as well, going to the opening of Altered Eyes, which more of an electronic start to it, and an arpeggio that kind of reminded me a bit of Daft Punk. And as much as they do go in for these sort of elements, they also go a more different style in metal as well, with tracks such as the Prophecy of the Falcon bringing more of a blackened feel to the project, with its opening having very high-paced blast beats with a more melodic style guitar playing. But then they can jump in another direction as well and go for the more technical side with tracks like Vengeance and Mortal Vessel, which sees them going so technical and so extravagant, it's almost hard to pay attention to what's happening. It kind of reminds me of bands such as Rings of Saturn or Origin, where they go fully off the wall with their technicality. And then they can even go slower and lower and more disgusting on breakdowns like on the track Ruin, where it sounds like I'm listening to like an old school HLB song. And the fact that they can go between all these different styles is a real testament to the strong songwriting from this band, especially on a genre like this, where even though it feels like they are taking from a lot of different areas, they somehow bring it together and then add their own thing to it, whether it be from the mixing, which is very unique to this band. I don't think I've heard many other bands sounding like this, so that's already a plus for them. As well is the vocalist Kyle himself, who has this very commanding, authoritative presence in the band, which I love. He is not buried, he is upfront, he is personal, he's in your face. You cannot hide from him. It's great. And I can say the same for all the other guest vocalists who were involved in this project. Vocalists such as Frankie Palmieri from Emure, who brings his iconic high screams that when in the track Prophecy for a Falcon, which is about Griffith from the manga, he kind of acts as a sort of other personality to Kyle's vocals, where it kind of reflects Griffith as a character, where he was Griffith, then he became the God Hand version, Femto. So that was, I thought, a real cool thing. I don't know if that was intentional, but I thought that was really dope. We also have Ben Durr from Shadow of Intent and Hollow Prophet, and in the track Mortal Vessel, you kind of can see this sort of boxing match between two very strong vocalists going back and forth. It feels like a battle, or like a war, like happening within this track. It doesn't really matter who wins, because at the end of the day, we won getting to listen to this. It was fucking awesome. But we also got some unconventional guest vocals as well, such as in the track Foe of the Inhuman, where we have Eric Venerberg. I don't know if I pronounced it correctly. It'll be somewhere here. Who is from I Prevail, and he sort of adds a different feel, a different vibe, but somehow they got it to still work with the whole brand of sacrifice aesthetic, that uber dark, disgusting, gory feel, especially on the courses where it acts as kind of like a really cool contrast between all the blood and gore. Like me personally, I wouldn't think that a person from Prevail would suit a band like this, but it did. It really worked. Moving on, we also have Jamie Graham, who, if you don't know, is the CEO of Unique Leaders. So for the fact that Brand of Sacrifice got the CEO from their record label to be a part of their album, that's a win right there. And he brings also his own unique voice and style, which, if you don't know, he's also the vocalist for Viscera. Great band, go check him out. And he just suits it so well. It has a more strained vocal approach that kind of feels like a person struggling, so he can be kind of reflected in like Guts' struggle through the manga. And finally, definitely on probably the heaviest track of the album, we have Tyler Shelton from Traders bringing his iconic moose growl, as best I can describe it, to this track. And it is massive. It is so big, it is so monstrous, and combined with the ending breakdown on this track, it is something else. It is goddamn something else. I remember on the live stream people were saying that was the heaviest, and goddamn they were right. It was fucking brutal.
Oh my god. I think I overslept. Who are you? Where am I? And why does this keep happening?
My name is Mimo. I found you in the desert. I also found this on you. Where did you get it?
Will there be a problem if I answer incorrectly?
It doesn't matter to me because I won't be carrying out the sentence.
Oh no. Is the prisoner awake?
Yes, and here's a present for the king.
Then bring him, he is waiting.
Let's go, prisoner.
Goddamn assholes.
And another thing on top of all this, which I really appreciated about the band, was that even though there was this consistent level of 110% brutality, they did give us some time to breathe. And this is done by the tracks Perfect World and Corridor of Dreams. Even those tracks really tie together to the tracks that are next to them. In the case of Perfect World, this is tied after the track Prophecy of a Falcon, where Prophecy of the Falcon, lyrically at least, it talks about the dreams of our main antagonist, Griffith, who is wanting to have a kingdom. He wants a perfect world for himself and he wants to be king. And then in the track Perfect World, it's an instrumental that sort of tries to help you imagine that perfect world with fanfares, triumphant music that could be something you'd find on, say, Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones. And it really conveys that whole dark fantasy aspect to this album that the band tries to reference. And Corridor of Dreams again references a moment later on in the manga where our characters Sharik and Farnes are going through Casca's mind to fix the issues, the broken issues in there. And it ties really well into the thematics and lyrics of the previous two tracks, which also are about Casca. One being more about how Guts wants to avenge the plight that she's been through, in the track, of course, Vengeance. And then in Ruin, where it is sort of Guts talking about the commitment he's going to make to Casca to destroy the people who did this to her. And what I also like about Corridor of Dreams, it ties really well musically into the final track of the album, also the title track, Lifeblood, where Lifeblood is sort of the last big climactic moment for this band where they pretty much throw everything at the wall and somehow it all just sticks. It's heavy. It transitions so well from one section to the next and it has one of my favorite things about deathcore, which is going in between simple time and triplet time. Goddamn love the stuff, and ending on this massive fucking breakdown that fades away into oblivion. It was perfect. It was a great ending to this album and overall just, yeah, a great ending. So overall, I really enjoyed this album. I thought it was really well written. The incorporation of a lot of different elements were really cool. And just to speak on that point, what I really enjoyed is that when the band was given an opportunity to do something different, they didn't shy away from it. They went headfirst into it and opted to do something different. And as a listener, that is a perfect way to keep you engaged in the long run, because you can never really anticipate on this album what you're going to get next, because at one moment you're in a brutal breakdown and the next thing you have a synth section hitting you in the face and you didn't expect it, but you're not taken aback when it's there. You're just happy. You feel good about it. Now, of course, I gotta quickly go over the mix of this album. Unfortunately, going into my research, I wasn't able to find who mixed this, so if anybody knows who did it, put in the comments please. I'd really love to know. But pretty much the mix was a pretty standard deathcore affair, which means by the end of the album I was getting minor listener fatigue and sort of like trailing off, and everything was kind of sounding the same. So I think this album could have really benefited from just a bit more of a dynamic range overall instead of everything being so crushed. To give praise, I love the fact that the vocals were upfront and clear, and when they were screaming in a more articulate fashion, I could pretty much understand a lot of the lyrics that Kyle was saying. Similarly goes for all the other guest vocals as well. And finally, all I could say is I kind of wish there was maybe a bit more low end, especially on the bass guitar, because there was times where I could hear the bass guitar, but I didn't feel like it was adding that, you know, that low bassy sub weight that's what its job is for, a bass. All the orchestration here I had no issue with at all. Thought they were really cool, and in some ways I kind of wish the band indulged more into it. I think for the next album I'd love to see maybe a bit more sampling from the Berserk anime at least, as well as maybe indulging more into the fanfares, the triumphant music, the sort of more dark fantasy element to the manga. I think it would just make it a more epic experience and probably push this band over the top when it comes to what an amazing deathcore band can be. But overall, do I think this is the perfect deathcore project? It is very high up there. It is. But I still think this band can do a bit more. They're so close to perfection, especially just on the writing. And this is not even just like huge change they could do. These are more like nitpicking, just adding a bit more of a breather here, giving more of a build up there, and indulging in more of the orchestral side of their writing. And I think this band could be sort of a genre defining band. Now, with all that being said, I'm probably going to give this a solid 8 to 9 out of 10, and most likely going to compare every other deathcore project that comes out to this album, because I think this is now set the benchmark for the year. But saying that, it is only March. We still have a lot of time left, so we shall see what will come of the rest of the year. But anyway, I'm going to end the video there. Thank you for sticking around for this long. Please give this video a like. I would appreciate it so much. And of course, if you loved it, subscribe to the channel to keep updated on more content such as this. But with all that being said, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.
I brought the prisoner and this gift he hid with him.
Ha ha, finally I have this priceless relic in my grasp.
I didn't do anything. Why don't you let us...
Now tell me, where did you get this?
Some guy with a big sword gave it to me.
What? Shit.
Die.
Quickly come with me.
Thanks for that, we would have died without you.
Take this. It might help you defeat him.
Interesting. Thanks for that, we would have...
Let me come with you. I know the way.
Then join us to take down this brutality.